As you can see, the Kellogg is immediate roundabout area considered to be a hill. Now, hill, it provides services applying individual mortality reasons and for increments of applying the individual mansion areas on top of the hill for our reasoning for water resistance, well resistance, elevation, processing information, which is, as you can see, Mr. Bill Gates Foundation and services applying inquiry and service and applying the individual mortality of the processing information on the mountain ridge. This entire mountain ridge is covered by radar, Doppler, and turbines and power nuclear energy, and also turbines with backup water lines. These feed lines, these water lines are goes into the respirators of the nuclear reactors. The nuclear reactors, just in case they have a nuclear meltdown, they have a backup reservoir and backup units for the meltdown. The water, so it shoots out domestic water, shoots out irrigation water, and also shoots out other coolant systems as backup reserve ponds, anything that's in pump or anything in sequence to drain into a flush out system for emergency reasonings, and that's like 24 hours, 7 days a week. And as you can see, this is the Kellogg residency, as the administration office has the rights and reserves of characterizing and processing information. Andy Miller at Seal Ben Washington's Andy Miller. He's a prosecutor in Washington State, and he's been in the area for 10, 20, 30, 40 years. It is the Washington State prosecutor of Washington State and the Sage Hill Mountain Queensgate, but this is a different moderated route, as it's pretty self-explanatory. The route, residencies, and all of the like processes a deterrent to nuclear deterrent, which do exist in every way, shape, and form, which return tax date is April. Presidential campaign is March, and then May and June, COVID-19, the first stage, and then the reservoir backup system, which incorporates the Civic Center, applying the individual sarcasm is the Kellogg dispute. You know, walking all the way back up and from the hill back all the way to Adam Miller's office in shape and form. You got guys that want to know what kind of car, what kind of vehicle you drive, want to know what kind of, how much money you got on your, if you drink or do alcohol. You know, that kind of sways the due process of legalities of keeping yourself as a stable, reliable employee, which you can't juggle, and then eat your cake, and then have everything you want at one time, or you either have one or you have the other, because it becomes a how would you say, spontaneous, multi-conventional war program. You have no sleep. With 2 hours, 3 hours of sleep, you're under budget, and now you get paid enough for your job. Therefore, you got a job itself, own property. You got your own property, you expand your own property, and you have other people that have problems fitting into your shoe, which they can't fill with wannabe water or fabricated water or wannabe H2O, which is not H2O, and there's something wrong with the real water H2O when they want to do a sample, and you find out that you fail your sample, you fail your water sample, and it's not real H2O, and somebody gets in trouble because it's not real water, and it's the person that was supposed to be making that water even show up, because when they showed up for the testing and array of responsibility of the person opening that gate and packaging that product and putting a label on it and then putting it on a forklift or putting it into a semi-truck, a Peterbilt, Volvo, Kenworth, or not responsible of doing their contract, their job, their bill of inquiry manifest of saying that this is the bill of sale, this is destination date, this is the package, this is the time of orientation where it was ordered, and how many stacks in a pallet, how many on a pallet, how many are going to be boxed, what kind of box, what kind of product, water, H2O. It's just an example of the multitasking of fetching a generated bill or a final bill or a billing inquiry statement mileage for your transport. But if it's a natural disaster, that's a nonchalant thing. That's a response. I mean, they open up doors, make beds. You serve them 3 meals a day, and clothes, shelter, and also grants. And they're eligible for that because they're U.S. citizens, and that one person wasn't responsible for the water was tested, and the water was tested and found out the water wasn't H2O. This is an example of policy, regulations, and accessible for those tools, which is, people love to have that job. I think anybody would love to have that job because, known for the fact that COVID-19, it's business owners, family owners, income, fully domestic, home owners, family domestic, family owners. There's law firms, there's administrations. It didn't stop the district court, it didn't stop the superior court, but people that do serious crimes, they get 3 meals and a bed and a cot. I think that's pretty sad compared to somebody that runs a business, owns a business, and somebody in their way of doing the COVID-19 getting access and not getting caught with the blame and don't want to be caught with the blame. So they put COVID-19 down. Known for the fact there's foreigners, Japanese, Chinese, Mexicans, immigrants, under households, in the city halls, in the cities, and they're not legal citizens. And they're starting to realize the COVID-19, the act of, they say it's purposely done, or it's a purposely act to hold down and stop people from working and seizing funds and assets and freezing accounts to supersede and overcome and supersede and travel over the weak and devour the weak, which is 2 million people deceased, which upcoming events, and then U.S. citizenships and Social Security Office, Department of DOL, gives you contractor's license, your military license, CDL A, B, chauffeur's license, your business license, whole 9 yards. Seems to be a real serious matter, and people are starting to realize it's a real thing. That's the real thing. That's the real thing. Now we're on 20th, West 20th, and we'll stack 20 boxes high. I'm sorry, 20 rows. 20 rows, 20 boxes high. Or you can go 20 rows, 5 feet high. And see who prevails. See who cowers and reaches out for the assistance. You know what I'm saying? People are starting to realize that the seriousness of the increments of the array, the blame game, surfacing to the truth and the results of what the real thing is, answering to the table, bringing your food to the table, bring your water, your bread to the table, bringing your funds, your accounts, your transactions, your true job history, your true abstract recollection reports, the true labor and also what labor you produce to produce unions. So you got a job essence. When you have your job essence, you got mother, father, grandfather, great-grandfather, administration offices. You know, have staff members. You got people that are not legal citizens. They're not legal citizens in any way, shape, or form. And they're working with staff or city or federal employees, state employees. See, they're starting to realize, and the children and the siblings, you know, their children are smarter than their mother and father. 1-year-olds, 2-year-olds smarter than their mother and father or grandmother. But we got this pump house. This has been here. 1, 2, 3. This pump house has been here since 1970, 1960, 68, 68. It's been in the 1900s. It's been here since 1820 and 1919. This is 1, 2, 3 out of 20. This has been since 1919. George Washington had an administration. George Washington himself had a path that walked over the hill here, and it goes into the Oregon Plex. George Washington himself. He had landforms, foundations, water wells, spring wells, water coaxes. He had water access and service. He had contractors that blew up mountains with explosives to shape and form roads and pebble grounds. These routes used to be mine shafts. These used to be, all these facilities used to be mine shafts. Used to be mine shafts for water and the system. This was never here. It was all, this used to be mountain range and rock and bevel. This was never here. So you got people as imposters, people as individuals that are voices of voices, and they're paid voices, and the COVID-19 is stopping them to be what it is, because they're not legal resident, they're not a legal employee, they're not a legal official working individual, not working citizen. COVID-19 is a serious thing now. It's starting to realize, people are starting to realize what COVID-19 is. Now it's starting to surface, realize what operations of legislation process, and what the really meaning of English, the meaning lettering of the letter A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, P, Q, R, S, W, X, Y, Z. People are starting to realize generation of the population of the U.S. language of the American dollar, the 100 pennies of equaling $1. Starting to realize when they get in their vehicle, they need a gas card, they need a credit card, they need a Microsoft program, they need a window. The existence of the technology is starting to realize that this COVID-19 is unbelievably a reshaping form of the real thing, and accepting it or dealing with it or coping with it. How can you monopolize with something that is the real thing, and you can't be tampering or fabricating or adding to it, because you'd be lying to yourself? And who would you be lying to yourself when it's not true? So now they're starting to realize the essence of the truth, monopolizing of the conversation, the legal document, perseverance, the voice, the appearance, and also the confirmation of the real deal is business, running a business, running a relationship with the mother and father, applying their services on English language services on which is 21st Street. Now, back in 21st Street, this is back in 1802 and 1900, 21st Street. Now, a serious individual realizing the services they imply the services and applying their individual sarcasm, individuals starting and monopolizing and harassing people that have jobs and people that have attachments as individual campaigns, voting rights, amendments, structures. They're starting to realize, the real first and last name, your driver's license, your social security card. They're starting to realize you can't just take people's stuff or go on the streets of sidewalks, people that own property, and partake and figure that you can target somebody on Wall Street or target somebody on any kind of street, figuring that they can get away with something that they'll never get away with, and they start to realize it. And when they realize it, when somebody realizes something, they start to study it. They look at it. They kind of play with it. They conversate with it. Known for the fact when they're conversating with it, and everybody knows, just you having a conversation or with it or without it, and you're talking to it, and you know for the fact who you are, and what are you trying to assume or produce. It's a losing battle. Maybe they started the situation. This COVID-19 was a set cause. It was a $300 million campaign. $300 million is a lot of money. $7,000 is a lot of money. And walking with $7,000, credit card, social security card, and increments of services and increments. And especially these mansionaries provide satisfy the inquiry and processing and increments of the services they provide here. They always have some guy trying to fuck it up for somebody. And you see the increments of the flag on the crane, and this is over the national emergency of the monument It's a flag in the background with the crane. Any Miller at Sea event in Washington, 509-725-3591. That's a Vog, Donald Trump, Mumu, Ganja, Ajmer Singh Nijjar, Cimaron 5, and the beautiful apprenticeship and services with increments of on tangible records and on reckless record and no record at all.